Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is Thursday, December 28th, 2023. We have a couple of birthdays today and actually had one event to talk about, even though it is Formula One. On this day in 1963, the South African Grand Prix was held in a town called East London, South Africa. I was reading the information about it and I was like, well, maybe this was one of these weird cases where it was actually held in East London, UK, and it was just the South African Grand Prix because they had to hold it there for whatever reason. Kind of like when a German Grand Prix might be held in a neighboring country because they already have a German Grand Prix at one track and they have a second track, but they just rename it after the neighboring country. I thought maybe this was the case, but it is not. There's actually a city called East London, South Africa. Jimmy Clark wins the race, starts on the pole, obviously finishes first, and leads all 85 laps. So I'm sure the internet would have went crazy about this one too. But anyway, let's go to our birthdays, and we have two really, really strong birthdays today. The first one, born on this day in 1921, sadly passed away in 1986, Mr. Nelson Stacy. So you see here, Nelson has 4 career cup wins. And I believe the total was 20 some top 10s. This doesn't add up though. But what Racing Reference showed was in 45 starts he had 24 top 10s, which is pretty impressive. But he's also the first driver to win in car number 29. Only 2 other drivers in Cup Series history have done that. Dick Hutcherson and Kevin Harvick. That here talks about a Southern 500 win. ARCA, which used to be called Mark. But a nice looking car there. And I always like the creativity of the numbers back in the day. And our second driver, born on this day in 1936, also sadly passed away in 2021, is a Hall of Famer. Is a former 2-time Xfinity, then Busch Late Model Sportsman Series champion. Won countless races in the Sportsman Series and other divisions prior to 1982 when it became the now Xfinity Series. It'd be Mr. Jack Ingram. And I've got these cards kind of in the order of his career, not the order of the cards released, but you can see this was probably back in the late 70s, early 80s. Based on the truck there in the background. Not sure what track that is. Probably can't even zoom in on the trophy to see what track that's from. And another winning trophy there. I'm not sure who the lady is behind him. This is definitely from the early 80s when the Sportsman Series was rechristened as the Busch Late Model Sportsman, or the Budweiser Late Model Sportsman Series. Of course, Press Pass showing their laziness with the photos. I do like the photo of the 11 car down here in the bottom right-hand corner. And there's a better picture of it on the back. Now this is when he started picking up the Skull sponsorship in the mid to late 80s. And now we're going to go chronologically because that's what we end up with the 91 Max, 92 Pro Set, and the 92 Max. And there you see Robbie Ingram, his son, who had passed away, I believe, in a highway accident around this time. Now, there was another Busch Series driver that he was not related to, Robert Ingram Jr., so it was kind of a... I remember reading about Robert Ingram passing away and thought it was the Busch Series driver, but it wasn't. Sadly, it was Jack's son. And then there's a good look at the... I believe that is the... Wow, that's actually Illumina. I didn't think he had been deep enough into the Busch Series to race those, but I guess he did retire in the early 90s. So this is probably from 91 because you have the American flag on the deck lid. And then there's a good look at Jack and his crew from the same year with Robbie's name there on the C post. And it looks like it's probably at Charlotte based on the stands. Yeah, because you can see the in the grass where it says Mellow Yellow, so this would have been the fall Charlotte race, the Mellow Yellow 500. So Jack, Hall of Famer. He had a good rivalry in the Sportsman Series there with Sam Ard, Tommy Ellis, Tommy Houston, Butch Lindley, and a ton more. I came in as a fan right near the end of Jack's career when they were starting to do a little bit of a super speedway. I don't want to call it a boom in the then Busch series, but they were starting to line up most of the races closer to the Cup schedule. So a lot of tracks got bumped off the schedule consequently. Then when the TV deal happened in 2000, then the 2001 schedule, you lost places like Hickory, South Boston, Myrtle Beach, and a lot of standalones. But that has been Birthdays and Events for this December 28th. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.